So look, something that it just bothers me so much, and it probably should not bother me that much. But I gotta talk about it. It's like being used, and it's sad because I think about this a lot. Like I see a lot of people out here that's being used, and I know what it's like to be used. But at the same time, I also understand my worth, and I understand the things that I build, and I work hard for. I see a lot of people today pissing their time off. And when I say they pissing their time off, I'm talking about they're wasting a lot of their livelihood and their time and their resources on people that don't benefit them. And in this life that we live, you cannot allow people to use and abuse you in a way where as though you know it's not right. And why I say that is because I had an incident. And it's funny because this person, you know what's funny? And I noticed that a lot of dudes go through this. It's a lot of transactional activity that's going on. Don't get me wrong, it's not wrong with transactional. But it's the setup. Like you already know what the setup is. You know the play. You know the play. You know when you're talking to somebody. But it's funny because we live in an era now where as though cats feel comfortable to ask you for bread when you know damn well it is not worthy of you giving up no money for anything, especially when you don't even know them like that, and you ain't even do much with them. So you sit back like, yo, how you setting yourself up to even open your mouth to even ask for money? Like we in an era now as though it's no shame no more. People be asking for money out of nowhere. And you be sitting there sometimes trying to figure out how you asking for money when we ain't even like that. But at the same time, I realize it's sad, but you do got a lot of suckers out here. You got a lot of people, and I'm speaking of guys, especially when guys. I can't penalize the woman because you can only play yourself according to whoever you're going up against. A lot of times people thinking they buying love. You seen a lot of people falling short today because they believe with money. That's why I say the game is messed up. The whole atmosphere of the dating world is all jacked up. Because the motherfucker will go out with somebody. They'll wine and dine them, know damn well they don't even like them. But then when they get with somebody else, they thinking they supposed to do the same thing. And then when you don't, all of a sudden you become lame. Oh, yo, I thought you liked me. So all of a sudden I'm supposed to give you $200 or $300 because I like you. Yo, we living in a wild, we in some wild times right now. Everything is transactional. That's probably why can't nobody really have a real relationship, because everything is like we're in a weird place right now. Like I was just looking up the situation with a dude end up unaliving the coach. I don't know if y'all seen that. The dude just unalived the coach. He walked in on his girl. That's what they said. He walked in on his girl. It's all across the news right now. And whoever she was, he was with her for a while. She was 23. The coach, they kept calling him the coach. He did. He not here no more. The boyfriend walked in on him and his girl in the room. And so obviously they was doing that thing. I'm like, damn. For you to be somebody that live in the same household with this person, and she literally had the courtesy to invite the coach in, to literally be in the same household for him to walk in and to see that. That's how you know we live in wild times when people are bold. It's nowhere in the world you can feel that comfortable around me to be in my home and think you gonna have somebody in the bedroom. Like, yo, I think now you're starting to see so many crash out missions. You will see people say it ain't never worth it. Well, this the thing. I ain't never walk in on somebody smashing my jaw in a household. You don't never know what you're gonna do. Everybody got a advice and suggestions about when they see situations happen, but they won't even move that way. You don't know what you're gonna do. You don't. Why you think half of these situations happen? Most situations happen off of that moment. You walk in, you black out. And that's the problem. You black out. Once you black out, who knows? Sky's the limit. You don't know what's going to happen after that. That's why I say, man, you cannot play around with people. And I thank God that I'm at the age I'm at now. Because I did it before. I remember playing around like that. And when I say playing around, I wasn't really playing around. I just could not leave this joint alone. And I knew I was wrong. And a lot of times as guys, we know we wrong, but psychologically, like something just don't be clicking with us sometimes. Especially if you really into a joint. And it's sad because the females really do be putting us guys in bad predicaments. And no offense, even as guys, we can end up becoming a very volatile. Like, look, man, we can turn real dangerous real quick, all because of a situation. We all, I'm not going to say we all, but a lot of us fall victim to that. And a lot of times, this is why a lot of times I think as men, we sometimes can see us being played sometimes, but don't quite move right. Like when you know, no, we all have been there. I ain't going to say all, but if you never had a girl before, then this ain't for you. But if you out here, and you've been out here, especially younger, and you've been out here clubbing, partying, going on dates, you have been with girls that they played you, but you might have got far with them, you might have did your thing with them, you started liking them, but they did something and you was like, damn, they really got me. You know what I mean? We all done had our time. But a lot of us know how, some of us know how to act. They like, damn, she got me good. I feel bad for the dudes that never really been with nobody. They maybe have maybe one or two girlfriends. You can tell those ones, yo, those are crash out dummies. And you have witnessed them. I remember one time, I was in Germantown. Oh my God, dog, I remember this like it happened yesterday. I started talking to this hold on, let me watch my language. I started talking to this young. And when I met up with her, we was going out. But then when I got there, I knew something was off because she walked over to my car and she was like, yo. She said, yo, just hold on. She said, I'll be right back. And I knew something was off because I seen a dude like standing over to the side. Now, I'm going to keep it real. This boy was cut up. And I'm like, he also looked like, I don't know, man, he just looked like he was ready to get dangerous. Now, mind you, a lot of us guys are ready to get dangerous, but you ain't never ready to get dangerous over a joint you don't even know like that. You ain't even smash her. You ain't did nothing with her. You just taking her out because she nice. Now, I get out the car, and I'm looking at him, and I just gave him a head bob. And he looked at me, he's like, yo, it was dry. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, yo, in my head, I'm already saying to myself, yeah, I'm going to probably bounce. Because ain't no way in the hell I'm going to end up taking somebody's life or I'm going to get my life taken. All because of whoever he is. When she came back, she said, yo, this my baby dad. She going to tell me this her baby dad. I ain't know nothing about dude. So as I'm busting up with her, he's still up, like he walked up the block. When he walked up the block, I'm sitting saying to myself, and I'm sitting up, that's how dumb as guys, like, I gotta be real, that's how dumb we are when we young. I'm sitting there, and I'm saying to myself in my head, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna end up taking dude out if he say something stupid. In my mind, I'm dumb. It's dumb. You thinking dumb. And then something hit me after reality strike. Like after a couple seconds, I'm saying to myself, yo, what are you doing here? Why don't you just leave this motherfucker? Like, you don't even want that type of energy. Plus, you can link up with somebody else tonight. Like, it was early. So I end up telling her, I said, yo, just hit me up. She said, yo, we still going out? I said, yeah, just hit me up. Hit me up in like 40 minutes once he bounced. She hit me up, I ain't even pick up. I'm like, yo, once reality set in, you like, dog, on with these problems. And you realize that as men, but I'm going to keep it real. You got some dudes out here that's so gun-ho. They like, nah, they like, forget that. Nah, I'm here for Joan. Like, I'm still going to take her out. They still thinking of, it's like, dog, it's not that serious. It's not. That's what I'm saying. Like, man, like, it's way more to life than for a lot of dudes to really be giving their time and their life up for things that's really not worth it. Like, if you think about all the dudes today that done lost their life off of stupidity, and I've seen more dudes get played. I've been played before, but it ain't enough for me to crash out. And also, like, I done did dumb stuff that made me sit back and say, damn, you was stupid. But when I see dudes now, you see dudes now that don't have nobody. They had that one girlfriend. And you'll look at that girl and you be like, damn, how in the world did he get her? This is the problem, though. You're looking at him like, how did he get her? But then when she break up with him, yo, we see it every day. Once they break up, dude like, ain't nowhere in the world I'm gonna see her with nobody else. And he end up unliving them. That's why I'm realizing in today's time, a lot of dudes gotta start to move efficiently and smarter. Like that, going over the house. Like I remember one time just being out, and I remember this joint, her name was I said, I'm not gonna even say her name. I'm gonna just say I just couldn't leave her alone. I'm gonna just say that. And I was messing with her for several years, and I had a girl. But this the messed up part. I could not leave her alone either. I don't know what the hell was wrong with me messing with Jones that already had somebody. Probably because I had a girl. And what was crazy is, this dude, I've never met her dude. I don't even know what he looked like. But I just knew that she knew I had a girl. It was that respect thing. So-called respect. I'm going to call it respect. But in real life, it really wasn't respect. Because I used to always be at her crib. But the problem with that was, her dude worked nights. I knew who he worked for. I'm not going to mention who he worked for, but he worked for a company, whereas though he used to operate throughout the night. Now, mind you, this went on for almost, 3.5 years? I was messing with this joint, and I had close calls. But a lot of times when you get those close calls, you get that feeling, that intuition, like, yo, I need to chill out. Especially that intuition whereas though your heart is beating crazy and fast, and you looking at the situation like, yo, I need to chill out. I need to chill. You say to yourself, I need to chill. Even when my girls started to take notice that, like, I get in arguments, and I found a way, like, whereas though when I get in an argument, I be like, yo, man, all right, I'm out. Eventually, that shit kind of hit the fan because eventually my girl was like, yo, hold up. She didn't say that, but I started peeping how she was starting to hit my phone up. Like if I bounce, she hit my phone right away. And all of a sudden, I just sent her right to voicemail. Eventually, my habits, I didn't even realize I had habits like that. It started changing because I was so in tune with, I don't want to call it my side job, but basically she was. But she had somebody, and I had somebody, but I could not stop. And I think when you start a relationship with somebody and that shit lingers too long, yo, it become a real relationship, but it's something that you just can't let go. And I'm going to tell you what happened. It ain't funny, but I remember one morning I woke up at her crib and I knew I messed up. I woke up and I said, oh, fuck. Dog, I told my girl I was on my way there. It was like 10:30 at night. Dog, I woke up. It was 8 in the morning. I swear on my life. I opened my eyes and her mirror. That's how you know karma is a mug. Her mirror went to fall on me. She had a mirror on her dresser. And when I opened my eye, dog, when I said I was fully rested, oh man, I knew I messed up. So as I opened my eyes, I looked, the damn mirror fell on me. But it didn't fall on me, it missed me. I opened my eyes and as it was falling, dog, I don't even know how it went to fall when I opened my eyes. But when I opened my eyes, that joint went to fall. I said, oh shit. And I hurried up and fell on the floor, like jumped on the, I ain't jumped, I like rolled off the bed onto the floor. And that joint shattered all over the bed. Dog, after that joint happened, she ran in the room. And she was like, she didn't even say, she was like, caught off guard. And I'm sitting there and in my head, first thing I said to myself, I didn't even say it out loud. I was like, yo, I gotta leave this mom. I gotta leave her alone. I got to. I just, yo, it was just so hard, man. And that's why I understand when cats say, yo, I couldn't leave her alone. Dog, I messed with her too long. Too long to the point it was like she was like my girl. Like I would take her to comedy shows. I'd do stuff for my girl. And then when my girl home, I'd be like, oh, I'm going home. And then I go pick her up. We'd go to an outing. Dog, I was wilding. But when that mirror almost fell on me, and then after I left the crib, I got in my car and I looked at my phone. Dog, you already know. If you know about being in a relationship and your girl, dog, it must have been 20-something, dog. It was damn near 20-something phone calls. And they wasn't regular phone calls. They were phone calls, text messages, phone calls, messages left. Yo, my girl went off on me. I knew right then and there I could not go to her crib. I said, yo, I'm gonna let her cool down. Because for one, I already was, I ain't gonna say drained, but I was drained. I was drained, and I'm just leaving her crib. I'm not in the right, I'm lazy. I'm not in the right state of mind, and it was summertime. And you know, getting up early in the summertime from somebody's crib, that's not a good look. You feeling good, you feeling agile, but at the same time, I'm tired. So I need to go home. But this is the problem. I went home. Who popped up? I realized in life, man, I know it's hard when it comes to relationships. But it's also harder when you have other relationships outside of your relationship. That shit become messy. And it's so messy, you don't even realize how messy it is because you in it. But at the same time, I still love my girl. I loved her. But, I don't even know why I said but I could not leave the other person alone. So, the one thing that made it change up, like when I was messing with the other John, was when she actually moved. She moved, and she moved farther up. She moved out of, where was she? Up West Oak Lane. So she ended up moving from West Oak Lane, if y'all familiar with Philly. She moved from West Oak Lane, and she ended up having a situation. And what's crazy is, she was not all Spanish. She was Spanish, but she was majority Spanish, but she was also a little bit of black. She had a little bit of black in her. And I remember one night, this is what made us really, really tight. And this was sad though. It made us real tight this way. She was walking home one night, and I remember I told her I would come through. And I told her, like, yo, my girl, I'm going to go check my girl out first, and I'm going to come through her crib. I'm going to come through. Well, once I got to my girl crib, my girl wouldn't let me leave. Like, I could just tell that my girl was just like, she wouldn't let me go nowhere. And she was really, like, wanted me to stay there that night, and I knew I was wrong. So I ended up staying the night. Well, check this out. This is how you know. I don't want to call this karma. I'm not going to even call this karma, because this ain't had nothing to do about karma. I can't say it's karma. She was walking home, and mind you, I don't know where she was coming from, but wherever this my side joint. I'm gonna just say the side joint. Wherever she was coming from, she was near West Oak Lane up in Philly. Wherever she was walking from, somebody followed her. And I think she was leaving like a lounge, or I don't know where. I can't say where she's coming, but I know she was out. And motherfucker followed her. And next thing you know, they tried to take her. You know what I'm talking about. They tried to take that thing from her. And in the midst of them trying to do that to her, they beat her real bad. They beat her bad. I'm going to tell you, they beat her so bad to the point I didn't see her for almost 2.5 months. She called me from the hospital, and I talked to her, and all she kept doing was, when she called me, she just kept crying and talking to me, crying. And I'm like, I wanted to come to the hospital, but she wouldn't allow me to. And I understood. You got a real boyfriend. You got somebody that's taking care of you. In the midst of them taking care of her, it was too fragrant. It was It was a bunch of fouls. If you in basketball, it was a bunch of fouls. Like, it was just too much going on. And that thing hurt me because I'm like, damn, I would have been like, that wouldn't have happened if I was there. But at the same time, I'm forgetting about my relationship. That's when I knew I kind of clocked out of my relationship because I couldn't even focus on a relationship with my actual girl. And we were together for a minute, man, for a nice amount of years. And this was a girl that I really loved. But when you start carrying on another relationship, you do lose feelings. Them feelings start to kind of like slowly be taken away from your main relationship. And so when that girl came out the hospital, once I got a chance to see her again, it was going a little too much. And then all of a sudden, she ended up moving. And her dude ended up moving her all the way out to the Northeast. She's like almost on the outskirts of Philly, but in Northeast still. She was still in Philly, but she was in the Northeast section. Whereas though she almost crossed state lines, whereas though you would be out of Philly. So she ended up moving far out that way. And then when she moved out that way, she waited a while. Next thing you know, I started coming up there. And that's where my karma, whereas though I almost at that point could have had my life taken. And that was by her dude. And I don't know how it would have happened, but I'm going to tell you how. A lot of times, I'm going to keep it real. I know a lot of times when we do foul shit, sometimes, a lot of times people say, why you want to use God? But I'm going to tell you something. God talked to me that night. I can tell you for sure he talked to me. Because I had some close calls, and I also had times where I actually used to say to myself, yo, I'm going to have to calm down how I'm moving out here in the streets. Like, just the way I was moving. Even other relationships I was having outside of my girl, I was wilding out. But that relationship, God spoke with me that one night, and that was my last time I was at her house. It was a night, and I remember this like it happened yesterday. I can't even tell you what kind of, I do know it was in the middle of the week because I had to work the next day. I remember leaving work. I can't remember if it was on a Wednesday or a Thursday, but I'm thinking it might have been on a Thursday. And I remember going up to her crib, and I remember going up there, and I had my change of clothes. I had everything. It was like I lived with her, but I know I didn't live with her. So I went to her crib, state night, I remember. And I remember when I went to her crib, everything seemed cool. Everything seemed relaxed. But this is when shit hit the fan. I remember when I went to sleep. Of course, you know what I mean, we had our fun. And I did not mean to fall asleep. I was like, yo, I'm going to bounce after. You know how that go. I woke up on my life. When I tell you, I remember the time like it happened yesterday. I woke up at 2:50 in the morning. Yo, I could never forget this. You ever wake up and you catch an anxiety, like an attack? I've never felt this feeling before. I caught a feeling. It was a feeling of scared. And mind you, if y'all familiar, you know when you live in a city, we all got that, I ain't gonna say we all got that thing on us, but I was outside a lot. So I had my thing on me, but it did not matter. I'm in her house where she and her dude live. I opened my eyes. This is how it was. I opened my eyes in the dark. I opened my eyes. The next thing you know, yo, my heart is beating. And I'm sitting in the dark. And I'm like, yo, hold up. I'm like, yo, something don't feel right. When I say God was talking to me, all I can hear was, get the fuck out that house ASAP. That's all I couldn't hear it, but I could feel it. I could feel I need to get out that crib. I got up. I walked to her window. I remember like it happened yesterday. I got up. I walked over to her window. Her window was faced towards the street, and I used to park my car not in front of her crib. I'll park it a block. So I can look out the window. Like I can look out and I can see my car down the block. Now mind you, as I'm looking at my car, I'm scared. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. So mind you, I'm not going back to sleep. So I went in her bathroom. I went to her bathroom. Took a piss. Walked back to the bedroom. I started putting my shit on. I put my shit on. And I put it on kind of fast, but not too fast. So she lays on me. She said, yo, you leaving? And I said, yeah. She's like, something. I remember her saying something. I grabbed her and I said, yo. I said, it's all good. I got it. I'm going to walk out. I said, yo. And then I remember she said, I love you. She called me B. Called me by my first initial. I said, I love you too, girl. Gave her a kiss. Though, when I say I walked down the steps, I was scared. So I had one in the chamber. Though, when I tell you I felt it. I walked down her steps. As I walked down her steps, it's like a dim light. It's a dim light, and as I'm walking, I'm going to her door. I'm nervous as hell. So I open her door. I open it. I look outside. I was so scared. I close her door back. I'm walking, so I put my hand on my stuff. As I'm walking to my car, I'm making sure everything look cool at nighttime. You gotta remember, I'm in the city. I'm in Philly. That's where I live. So I'm making sure everything look cool, but my heart, I'm scared. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Mind you, I'm telling you, God walked me to my car and got me home to be able to get in my bed. I've never been so happy to make it home in my bed. I never felt so happy. Now, mind you, the moral of the story, I'm going to tell you what happened that morning. I made it home, got home. I didn't hear from her. Now, mind you, I normally get a text from her, but I said, yo, she probably back asleep. You know what I mean? She sleeps. She locked back out. I get a phone call at 10:30 the next day. I'm at work. She says, B. That's all I heard. She said, B. And I said, yo, what? What happened? He said, you will never believe what happened. And I said, what happened? She said, when you left, I thought you were still in the house. He said, I almost called your name. She said, and I realized you must have left. She said, B, I don't know how you and my man did not pass each other. All my life, we missed each other. Maybe 10, it could have been even 15. But I'm thinking to myself, we might have missed each other by 6 or 7 minutes. I'm going to tell you how I know. She said when she grabbed him, I don't know, we must not be built the same because I was more muscular. I'm not a big dude now, but I still got my muscles here, but I'm not the same as I was before. But I was more slimmer and I was more cut. So I don't know how he looked. I don't even know how he's built. But we obviously not built the same. And she said when he got in the bed, she could just, I guess we smell different or whatever. I don't know. But she said when she grabbed him, she knew it wasn't me. And she said because she almost called him me. And I said, I'll be damned. Dog, I'm going to just say this. I don't know how that situation would have turned out, but it wouldn't have probably turned out good for me. I can tell you that for a fact. Because if I'm in the bed asleep, it don't matter that I had that thing on me. I don't sleep in the bed with it like if I'm comfortable. And that night, I would have deserved everything that happened to me if dude caught me at the right time. Because I'm going to keep it real with y'all, dog. I'm going to keep it real. I known that she had a dude for a long time. Never seen him. I don't even know what he looked like. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. It could have been a possibility he could have been in his car and seen me leave. I don't know. But I can tell you this. I don't think he seen me. I don't know. I don't know his personality. But I can tell you that that was my last time in my life that I ever went over to Joan's crib. And she told me she had a boyfriend. or somebody. Like I always kept it real with Jones. Even though, you know what I mean, motherfuckers be lying, they do be lying. Women lie a lot. Just like men. We lie. Motherfuckers lie. We lie. Look, man, you get people to lie for no reason. Even when you're not in a relationship with them, they lie. But that was my last time that I ever stayed at somebody's crib and got comfortable. Thinking about that situation, I always get scared and nervous when I see the news and I see somebody lost their life being in the house and the baby dad or the husband end up killing somebody. I always think back to that. I can't help it. I always think back to that. So when I look and I see situations like that, it makes me actually sit back and be like, damn. I think one of the worst feelings is to be caught off guard. I don't ever want to be caught off guard. I think that is the worst feeling ever. Can you imagine being in bed? Now, mind you, think about it. You're in the dark. And anybody knows if you click a light on, it startles you, especially if it's out of nowhere. Can you imagine being in bed and a motherfucker click a light on and you open your eyes and you startled? And when you look, you see a dude. I know. When that situation happened, that just happened with the dude, when he killed that coach, dude in the bed with his girl. Come on, dog. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I think as men, and I can testify to this, and I could definitely say this. I think as men, we got to start moving way different. We got to stop being dumb. I'm going to tell you right now, I done seen many women get a lot of dudes out here killed. Women don't have the same withal and the mind frame and common sense like dudes. But as men, I do know this for a fact. When you are sex driven and you are just, I got to have her, you ain't thinking clearly. You are not. I can tell you that for sure. You're not. But I do think as men, and I realize even that now, even talking to Jones, I'm like, nah, I'm cool. Especially when they give you a story. And you're like, damn, you going through it like that? I pass. And you'll get a stupid text message. Damn, you act like you scared. You know how many dudes out here dead all because the motherfucker baited them into thinking that they were supposed to be soft because they not risking their life for some ass? Nah, we ain't doing that. Especially when you have a child, like you got kids to take care of. I'm not talking about taking care of just the family. I'm talking about your kid, because most likely a lot of us are single. You know, once the relationship break up, you know what I mean, like many. I'm one of the ones that fell victim to that. Got married, now I'm going through a divorce, but it ain't a bad thing. It's cool. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Relationships don't last like they used to. It don't make you sad. It just make you mad that you spent a lot of resources and you can't get it back. You know? But at the same time, what you gonna do? You still gotta live life. What you gonna do? You got people out here offering themselves from relationships. Like it has to be a time. And I'm speaking of men. Men gotta start to move at a rate of, when they going through a breakup, get your ass in the gym and start taking care of your well-being. Because I'm going to tell you, ain't no taking care of yourself when you sitting up in the crib and you just sobbing. And you like, man, it's fucked up, yo, man. Like, yeah, come on. Nobody care, man. Nobody care. Don't nobody really care until they go into your funeral. Then everybody be like, man, I don't know why he ain't call me. Nah, we ain't trying to see that no more. We trying to see dudes out here winning. It ain't nothing worse than seeing dudes out here losing. When you see them struggling. We ain't trying to see that no more. We want to see people out here winning. Especially as a man to another dude. I love to see other dudes like, yo, what's up, man? You know what I mean? And y'all moving and everything. Y'all just speaking. Like, dudes, we easy to get along with. Especially when we living in a good atmosphere. Like, our mental good. We ain't one of them people, I need to go talk to somebody. I don't need to go talk to nobody. Like, for what? For what? Seeing a psychiatrist has not helped people today. I don't know if y'all been paying attention. It's the gameplay. I got a niece. This motherfucker still talking to the same person she been talking to 4 years. If that motherfucker, if they didn't fix your problem in 4 years, y'all got a relationship now. Dudes ain't stupid. We know. If we talking to somebody and we get hit over the head on our insurance, we'll realize after the third time, yo, why am I talking to this person? I don't feel better about myself yet. Let me start doing something different. You know what you got to start doing different? Getting out. And I'm not talking about getting out going on dates. I'm talking about getting out and start doing some things for you. That's when I start realizing it's more to life, yo. A lot of dudes I be seeing getting played left and right, whining and dining, doing all the shopping, making other people feel good about life. And then the end result is, you like, yo, why that motherfucker ain't got no, like, she don't got no feeling for me like that. Every time I look, she trying to use me. Yeah, you think? You think? That's what you led with. Now you broke. Now you like, yo, man, that's crazy. I don't entertain that no more. If you don't rock with me, don't rock with me. It's simple. People make life harder than what it is. Like what it is. It's not that serious. Life is really not that difficult. It's really not. I think people must have been told the wrong thing out here. They told people that life was difficult. Life is only difficult because you made it difficult. It's not that difficult. It's not hard to wake up every day and be happy at yourself. Only time you down on yourself is if you start to let people use you. I don't know how people don't understand the word no. I love the word no. It's probably what I'm going through with the voice. I like no. You have them days where you just sit back chilling. You planned that day just to do nothing. I wanna can we go here? Such and such having something. Okay. All right. And then it go from, well, can you go? No, I'm chilling. You go. Damn, we don't even really do nothing. Now your day effed off. No, I don't like those days no more. I enjoy life. If you can't enjoy your peace by yourself, you ain't gonna be able to enjoy nobody else. Because you'll dictate your whole livelihood around being in a relationship. I got a family member like that. I'll be like, God damn it, dog. Like you acting like, oh my God. Sometimes you want to headbutt them up sometimes, man. You be like, damn, yo. You don't get it. And then you get angry when you be looking at them like, damn, sucker. You done turned into another sucker. I ain't gonna even say what he did. Because if I say what he did, I'll be like, man. Well, look. I'm gonna clock out of this thing. I let my son stay up. So I'm about to put his butt to sleep. Because I said, once I'm done doing what I gotta do up in the office, you going to bed. And he was like, Dad, I just got on the game. So now I gotta put him down. I can't let him, because you know kids, yo. They'll rock out and they'll play a game till 6 in the morning. Then next thing you know, that motherfucker like, at 6 in the morning. I'm like, oh man. That made me unfit. Look, peace and love, man. And look, don't be out here being used, yo. I'm telling y'all. One of the worst feelings out here is for you to be used. Don't let people use y'all. Wisen up and sharpen up. All right? Be safe. Good night.